Hey there, fellow bass players around the world. Welcome to Bass for Beginners, Lesson 7. Did you ever go to a concert and when the concert was over, somebody says, "Man, that band was tight"? What they mean by that is the band played like a machine. They were all locked into each other and their timing was impeccable. And it's real important as a beginner bass player that you're disciplined with your timing. This way, when you go out and you play with a band, you're able to lock into that band and you're able to lock in with that drummer. So we're going to work a little bit on that today. And if you don't have a drum machine or a metronome already, I suggest you get one because it'll really help with your timing. Now we're also going to work on a little bit of ear training. Now when the average person listens to the radio and they hear a song, they hear the melody, they hear the words, and they feel the beat. But as musicians, we're able to hear each individual instrument and what that instrument is doing. We could hear the bass, we could hear the guitar, we could hear the drums, we could hear everything that's going on within that song, and that's real important to develop your ear. So we'll work a little bit on that today as well. And that's where we're going to start. I'm going to play you a little something. I want you to think about what you're hearing, okay? Okay, now you're obviously hearing drums, or you might say a drum beat, but what you're really hearing is you're hearing a kick drum, a snare drum, and a hi-hat. Now I want you to listen again, but I want you to focus in on the hi-hat and hear what that's doing. So what that hi-hat was doing was it was playing eighth notes, okay? And that would be counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's pause for a moment and let's revisit how we count the notes. Some of you might already know this, others maybe you don't know it. Let's just take a minute and have a look, okay? Now this here is a whole note. And we count that 1, 2, 3, 4. So this whole note right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll play that for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, real simple, right? Now these are half notes. And they're counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your quarter notes, it's counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are eighth notes down here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so now let's go back to that drum beat. What we're going to do now is we're going to lock into those eighth notes that the hi-hat is playing. And we're going to do something really simple. We're just going to play an F sharp right here, 2nd fret E string. She's going to play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now when you're playing this, what I want you to do is I want you to alternate fingers. Index and middle, index, middle. Alright, we're tuned to A440. Make sure you're tuned up. And you're going to get a 4 count and then we'll do it. Okay, now we're going to do that one more time, but instead of alternating fingers, I just want you to use your index finger, okay? All right. Now, let's pause again for one moment and let's get the tip of the day. If you ever find yourself in a recording studio or you're recording your own music at home, you got to think of how you want to attack a bass line, okay? Even for something as simple as this line right here, just playing that F sharp. Do you want to alternate fingers, or do you just want to use that one finger? Now, that might sound silly, but in actuality, these two fingers sound slightly different than each other. And when you're recording, you want everything to be smooth and consistent. So if I were playing this in a studio, I'd probably just use my index finger. Now another thing I could throw out to you is it would be great if you record yourself playing. Because when you record yourself playing and you hear the playback, you hear all the mistakes you made and the inconsistencies of your playing. Now there are a lot of guys that sound fantastic live, but when you get them in the studio and you press the record button, you'll hear fret noise, you'll hear strings ringing that shouldn't be ringing, you'll hear a lot of noise. So if you want to become a really tight player, listen to yourself after you've recorded yourself playing. That helps a lot. Now let's move on. Let's pick up the beat again, right? But this time, I want you to listen to what the kick and the snare drum is doing. Okay, so we just focused in on the hi-hat, but this time I just want you to focus in on the kick and the snare. Now give it a listen. Okay, so what that kick is doing and the snare is doing, that pattern is kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, kick. Kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, kick. So if I write it out over here, it's going to be kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, kick. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a little bass line to match the kick and snare pattern. Okay? So let's do this. Let's play E, F sharp, A, B, A. So we're going to match this bass line to the kick and snare pattern. We're going to lock into that kick and snare. And that's going to be E, F sharp, A, B, A. E, F sharp, A, B, A. And that is just going to sound like this. So let's go back to the drum beat and let's play along with that. You get a 4 count, you're in. Okay? Now, let's put these two together. So what we'll do is we'll play this measure here 2 times, and then we'll play this measure here 2 times, and we'll just keep looping it. So for the first 2 measures, we're going to lock into the hi-hat, and then for the next 2 measures, we're going to lock into that kick snare pattern. Alright, now let's do it one more time, but let's add a little guitar and make it a little rockin', make it a little bit more musical, okay? As you go forward with your bass playing, remember to be disciplined with your timing. And when you're at home listening to music, try to listen to what all those instruments are doing in the song that you're listening to. This way you can develop that ear. Now that's it for me for now. As always, please subscribe. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd be interested in taking private bass lessons with me via Zoom, visit stevekonbass.com and shoot me an email. I'll catch you next time. Happy bass playing.